welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat. This week we'll be going through our mid-season review, of course, in the bye round, or just surpass the bye round now. But how are we feeling, boys? No footy, or no Blues at least for the weekend. Has it been a bit less stressful, a bit less exciting, or how's it been, Pato?
Nah, it's been shit, mate. It's been shit without the mighty Blue Bays. Even though we lost last week to the Bloody Pies, but I did get a little bit bored on the weekend actually because I was working. I was like, I wouldn't mind actually checking the score and see us have some hope in losing to the Baggies again. But nah, hopefully we respond this week.
Yeah, I hope the players had a well deserved rest, but also, as you said, it was a bit boring without the Blues and just without footy in general. I mean, without the bulk of footy that we're used to, I guess, as well. Was it 2 games on Saturday or something like that? Whatever day it was, spread out like it was a bit average. But what about you, Heath?
Yeah, it's always a bit bare. I had a buy for my footy as well, so it was a very non-football weekend, which I actually don't mind, to be honest. It's a bit of a break for both the players and the fans. Kind of look back on the start of the year, which has been probably the most fun 11 weeks supporting our football club I've ever had in my life. So, and it's round 11 and the season's still going. We're not thinking about next season already. So, it's positive. But there were some good games on the weekend, especially Sunday. There's some absolute rippers. But hopefully we have a ripper this Friday.
Absolutely, mate. Did you get out of the big life and escape the South Bank $7 million property and get up to Noosa or something like that, or go for a nice holiday? Where'd you go?
Nah, mate. Just saw some mates on Friday night and just had a chill. I went to the footy on Saturday night, actually. I said no footy weekend, but went to Melbourne, apparently. Melbourne, Sydney.
Good. It was a good game.
The Swans were up and about.
You're going well. It just shows how much better we are than them.
Too bad they couldn't beat us, but we'll move on from that.
Absolutely, mate. Yep, thank you. Well said. Alrighty. Obviously, as we film now as well, 2 new Blue Baggers in Sammy Durden and Will Hayes. Will Hayes, of course, being given an AFL contract from the VFL, and Sam Durden did play for North and has been playing. Where's he been playing, Heath? You tell us, mate.
Yeah, he's been playing at Glenelg in the Samful. I think the last 2 years. I think he got delisted probably end of 2020, I think. Obviously the COVID year, which saw a few players get delisted just due to list numbers, and there was a big thing around that. So he's going to get another chance at AFL level, which is good. And he's been dominating for Glenelg. He's been averaging, I think, over 15 touches, 6 marks a game, which is pretty handy. So yeah, it's good.
Absolutely. What do we know about Will Hayes, boys? And playing in the VFL, been dominating. You seen much of him, Pato?
Yeah, mate. He actually looks quite promising, actually, in the VFL. So, I mean, it's probably good that because I always like when players from the reserve side actually get picked up from that club. Like, it's always a good story, I think. So, Will Hayes looks the goods. So obviously, like, he looks to be maybe a mid-forward sort of player, but now that he's on the AFL list, we don't really know if he's going to be, if he turns out to maybe be like a defender or who knows. But he looks the goods as a mid forward.
Absolutely, mate. All right, we'll get stuck into. So yeah, we welcome both of them to the club, and we'll touch on them a bit later on as well, potentially in the next episode. We'll get stuck into the who do you reckon's leading the BNF count. Of course, we haven't mentioned because it does become quite regular these days, but there is no speech, so I'll be reading out speeches on his behalf. But Pato, we'll go to you first, mate. Who is leading the BNF at the moment?
Yeah, there's a few, which is quite good to see actually, because past few years it's been like the Walshies or the Crippers. But there's a few like Charlie Curnow. There's many, but mine probably stands out the most, and that's Patrick Cripps. I think he's just been there. He's just had a captain sort of season, really. And it's just really good to see that he's actually come back, especially after some controversy, not really controversy, but a little bit of stuff about Cripps not really being up to the standard. Maybe even last year we were talking about maybe him trading him to West Coast or Fremantle for a pick 1 or 2. And I'm like, come on, like, he's our skipper. We have to stick fat with him. But I thought he's been absolutely fantastic. Obviously, the past 3 or 4 weeks he's dropped off a little, but guys like Walshy and stuff, he doesn't have to do the Cripper sort of stuff that we know that he can do. And he's impacted in other areas, which is really good to see. But yeah, I think Paddy Cripps right now is leading the BNF.
Absolutely, mate. And no surprises who Easton's gone with as well. He's backed it up the Cripper. How have you seen his year, mate? And have you seen his role change, Easton, since the start to potentially the last few weeks?
Yeah, well, I think he's had a ripper start. I think it was the first 6 or 7 weeks. Apart from that game where he was out in Gold Coast with the little hammy tweak, he was fantastic in that first month and a bit. I just felt like we saw a new version of him. I think, he brings his, game, which is, tough inside, but also now impacting the scoreboard. And last few weeks, like you said, a bit of a role change, being in the ruck here and there and stoppages. I'm not a big fan, to be honest. Obviously, you got to make do with what you've got. Our bigs aren't really fit at the moment. So I think last week he's one of our best against Collingwood. I think he had a few moments there where he was the skipper and he went forward on a crisp and it was a mismatch and he ends up getting that mark. He's he's the size of a full forward. So I think he's had a great year and I think he's that far ahead in the BNF that I don't think he can lose it.
Absolutely, mate. And Speech has gone Sard, which it's fair to say he wasn't a big fan of at the start, when he came to the club. But I think Sard's had a great year. And I've gone Cripps as well. But you can make a case for, I'd say a lot, to be honest. You could say, obviously, Sard, yep, Cripps, Doherty would be up there. Like, how can there be a few of them that'd be up there? Charlie, he's leading he's second down the Coleman, but Jeremy's played an extra game, obviously. But you can make a case for a lot of them. We'll get stuck into most improved now as well. Just we'll go to you, Pato. Who have you seen most improved, mate?
Yeah, as of there are probably a few leading the BNF as well that we could kind of choose from. But also there's been plenty of players this year that have really stepped up and improved. But my player is Lockie Plowman. Past few probably month or so, he's been struggling to get a game, but I think that he's now that he's got that position, he's probably kept playing as a key back, but let's be real, which is kind of stiff on him. But I think he's been fantastic. Like, it's kind of hard to put him on like a Mason Cox or even like a Darcy Cameron from last week and expect him to be as good. But I think he was actually pretty underrated last week. So mine's Lockie Plowman. I think he's really stepped into that role, and especially when like a Jacob Wettering comes back, and even like maybe like an Austin McDonald or like a Mitch McGovern comes back in, I think Lockie Plowman keeps his spot.
Yep, well said, mate. What about you, Heath?
Well, yeah, like Pato said, there's many names, and Plowman's definitely one of those names that's been a most improved. I feel like he got his shot. I think someone came out late. I don't know what game it was. Might have been early in the year against the Dogs or someone like that, or Hawthorn, and he came in. He actually played 8 out of 12 games this season, which is pretty solid from him. My biggest improvement is actually gradually into the season is Tom De Koning. I think we were too quick to write him off in a way when he struggled against Gold Coast, and I think it was very, very harsh for a guy who's 22, and then he shows what he showed what he's capable of, and look at him now. He dominated the Swans the other week, and I think he can be one of the best ruckmen in the comp in years to come, and definitely sooner rather than later.
Absolutely, mate. I remind you of it every week. I've predicted him at the start of the year for Mark of the Year, and he has been nominated. So could be one from Sammy there. Speech has got Lockie O'Brien, one of your favourites, Pato, which I agree has been very, very good, or at least definitely improved. And I do have Kennedy. I mean, he has always been solid enough. I mean, as you said, he played pretty well towards the end of last year, but I reckon he's had a great year when he's played. Obviously, he missed the last game, but yeah, I reckon he's been absolutely superb. All right. Speaking about instead of individual players, we'll go into more games now. What's your favourite game of the year, Pato? Yeah,
mine's quite recent. I think it's our last win, I believe. I don't even know, but mine was the Sydney Swans. So I think that was a fantastic night, especially since where we kind of see Sydney now after beating Melbourne. Like, maybe that's probably one of our biggest wins of the year. But that was really good because they probably had pretty much a full strength side, and especially Lance Franklin was playing, so that was a really good game. And yeah, just marble. Friday night, get to Sydney Swans, Indigenous round as well. So yeah, that was a really good game to see. But hopefully we see a little bit more of that sort of Carlton in the next few weeks.
Absolutely, man. I do like that we've all got different games here. It just shows that shows the year that we've had, and yeah, it's good to see. What about you, Heath?
Yeah, that was a very good game. I felt like it kind of all of Carlton came together for that game. I think we were on a bit of a run. I think we won 3 straight prior to that, and a big win against the Giants. Everyone was getting around it and having that Friday night game, which, you know, thanks to the AFL for putting us on that night. You know, it wasn't like a Sunday arvo graveyard shift. It was a Friday night under lights, everyone watching. But my favourite of the year was Richmond. I think, like many people said, I think we can be taken seriously until we can knock off Richmond round 1. I think it's really, I think if we lost that game, I don't see us going 8-3. I think the confidence we build off that game, leading into the Bulldogs game and then leading into the Hawthorn game, obviously that was close than it should have been. But I think we really developed confidence. I think even off that Melbourne preseason match, I think we could tell we were very different the way we played. But Richmond, first game of the year, crowd went off. We really put them in their shells a bit. I think Richmond fans, and they, you know, a bit of reality hit them, but they've been in good form the last few weeks. So it'll be interesting next time we verse them. But round 1 means more.
Absolutely, mate. It was a great game. I have a different game just to be a bit different, but it probably did provide my greatest and probably our greatest moment of the year. Obviously, Doherty kicking that goal was very special for the club and very special for him. So I've got GWS just because a couple of injuries. We went up there. I mean, we're sort of favourites, and I think we sort of came in a bit, sort of went out a bit, sorry. And yeah, I think it was a great win, and we probably expected to win, to be fair, but we hadn't won there before, I don't think, from memory. Couple of big injuries, and yeah, we come away with the win, and it was a good win too. So it's good to see. They were all great wins, but we've spoken about what we've seen so far. Now it's time to speak about what we reckon or predict is going to happen, or even hope is going to happen for the remainder of the season. Pato, give us a few predictions, mate. We're at the halfway point now. How's it going to finish?
Yeah, so mine's a little bit optimistic, but I've got the Blue Jays finishing 4th. Hopefully we get to play a qualifying final. I'm predicting that we'll play against the Brizzy Lions up at the Gabba. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because I personally think that this loss actually came at a good time, and I know that it pains me still that it was to Collingwood, but I think this will help us to kind of grow again. And because as we said, like we see Melbourne, we see Fremantle like a couple of weeks ago. We've seen Sydney as well. They've all had their lapses throughout the year. I see this being our lapse, and maybe it might take us a few weeks to get back into what we know we can play. But I just think that we will rise again, and hopefully we'll finish 4th. But I've got Walshy to be best and fairest, and Charlie Curnow leading goal kicker as well.
That's a bit out there, mate. Curnow leading goal kicker. He's only almost leading for the whole competition.
I should have done Corey Durden, mate. I should have done Corey Durden for the Rising Star as well.
Well, that'd be a nice one. Yeah, well said, mate. So if we finish top 4, Brisbane finishes top 4. I assume you'll say Melbourne finishes top 4. Who's the other team?
Sydney. Oh,
Sydney. Beautiful. Oh, Freo.
Yeah, Sydney or Freo. One of the two. Sydney impressed me. Freo, not sold on yet.
Interesting.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's big. What do you see happening, East?
Yeah, I think our run's very hard. The back end of the year, I think we got to win. We got to beat Essendon. We got to beat Richmond. Well, fuck, that's going to be hard as well. It's a tough run, but I think we can get it done. I think we'll come 5th. I think it's a little bit optimistic as well. I think we can do it definitely. Talent wise, there's just more injuries. Can we hold up? Yeah, so I think we're gonna get our home elimination final, and we're gonna face the Tigers for the 3rd time in the year, and it'll be 95,000, and we will beat them. And I think we'll make a prelim this year. I think we deserve to make a prelim. and yeah, I'm not trying to be, over optimistic, but geez, if we just get in the 8 and we have our full side, we can go all the way. I'm not trying to be, some cocky prick. You've seen it in every year, especially 2016. Dogs just needed to make it. And look at their little run they made. Like, you just got to make it these days, especially look at the comp so even. You got Melbourne first with 40 points, who've lost the last 2 games, and then you got Brisbane 36, and then 5 teams on 32. It's very even, and yeah, who knows? Or we could really bottom out and not make the 8. So who knows?
You just mentioned it there towards the end. Can you say that realistically? Can you say that happening? Do you think that we've played? I'm saying this, but do you think we've had an easy run so far and it'll get tougher and we won't make the 8? Is that a possibility?
Oh, of course, it's a possibility. I don't think we can miss. You look at the teams below the 8. There's Collingwood a hit and miss. I know they beat us, but they'll drop a game to North Melbourne or something. They've dropped a game to West Coast, for Christ's sake. So you got Hawthorns below there. Can they really come in? That's the thing. Who can come in from there? It's probably Port Adelaide and Bulldogs, and that's about it. But can they even do that? No, they're not looking threatening, in my opinion.
No, well said, mate. So Speechley, who, as I've said, can't join us here tonight, but Speechley's got us finishing 9th. He's not the most positive bloke going around, and not saying that just because he's not here. I'd say it to his face, but he's a bit negative at times, but he does having us finishing in Richmond's ultimate spot or favourite spot in 9th, and miss out on the 8th due to percentage. He's saying
one thing on that. How many wins do we have to prove to Speech that we're good? That's the question, man.
Well,
we have to win the grand final for him to be.
Spot on.
That's the thing. Like, I think he can't even be happy. Speech, if you're watching, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's like realism and sense that like where you got to look at where we finished last year. I think, like, I know Richmond got smashed by 100 odd points and then won the flag, but realistically, I don't see that happening. Probably it'd be good, nice, but it's small steps. First year coach, they didn't have a first year coach. They had a coach that was there for a long time, and of course, there's going to be a few little things that aren't perfect, but I think it's from where we've come. I think, we can't expect absolute perfection at the moment, and maybe next year or the year after. But I tell you what, we're looking pretty bloody good, and I have us finishing 6th to 7th. We make the 8, tough draw.
Yeah.
I see us getting enough wins and making it. And I'm not sure what happens from there. I won't say who we play. I know it here, but 6th to 7th for myself.
Just a quick thing.
Yeah, you're right.
For me, this season, Voss talked about it before the year, saying, we've got a new system. We've got to expect, we're going to have some downfalls. Some games, where you drop a game to someone you should beat, or a few lapses here and there just due to new system. And we've banked wins while learning the system. We're 8-3, and like the start of the season wasn't supposed to be our peak. The end of the season was. So you look at that and you go, geez, I know we've got injuries, but get a few people back. The sky's the limit. The sky's the limit for this group. The sky is the limit.
Yeah, no, well said, mate. And of course, Luke Sayers did say the expectation is finals, and I think realistically, how many wins do we need to make finals? And I know you said it's quite open. It's potentially going to be different this year, maybe the amount of wins you need, but realistically, how many more wins? 4, 5? Ethan, how many more?
5 minimum.
5 would
minimum. I think we'll get 6 in the next 11.
Need 5, we'll get 6 and finish 5th. Okay. Pato?
Yeah. But no, well, yeah. Don't worry. Don't continue.
Pato, what do you reckon, mate?
We need 12 in total to make the 8. But yeah, I think as the Big Duffy boy said, the sky's the limit, and it's just these guys have the talent to literally win the cup, but also they don't have the experience to make finals. So it's as I said, I don't have a lot of expectation. Like, of course, if we lose in the prelim by under a goal, I will be like, that will take me months to get over it. But also, if we win an elimination final and just lose the next week, like looking at where we've been for the past 5 years, I think we're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely, mate. And Ethan, you did say who you see making the 8 that's not in there already. For mine, I reckon it's easy. I reckon Richmond. Like,
You
I
reckon
reckon Richmond
they
are
make it?
actually. I'm not saying they will make it, but for mine, who's not in there, I see Richmond making it probably more so than the Bulldogs personally.
Yeah,
100%.
I think they're more of a threat, Richmond. I think it's a bit
Yeah,
of a
because if
worry.
they make it, they know what they're doing. You know,
Yeah.
a few of them are experienced enough. Well, a lot of them are experienced enough. They've done it a few times, so
You just got to make it. That's what I'm saying. You just got to make it, whoever it is. You know, you don't have to be the best side. If you're good for those 3-4 weeks in September, you win the flag.
exactly right. You can do it, and even if top 4 is a bonus, but you can still do it the hard way and at least
Yeah.
make it. The Dogs, they at least made it. They didn't win it, but at least made it the hard way last year. So who knows? Stranger things have happened. But I think that just about wraps it up, boys. Anything else we needed to add, or you want to add?
All good, mate.
Beautiful.
good,
And
mate.
obviously, sorry, Speechley couldn't be here today. He will be missing the next episode as well. But we hope he's well. And if you're not already, like, subscribe, share, do it all. And Pato does have an announcement. Before you get that scarf ready, mate, you do have an announcement about Amazon, I believe.
Oh yeah, mate. So I know it's been in the makings for a couple of weeks, but officially today, the 6th of June, 2022, Baggers Chat is on Amazon Music. Go on, check it out. Very, very big things coming in the next few weeks. Very big things.
That's one to mark in the history books, boys. 6th of June. There we go. Alrighty. Thanks for watching as always. And Pato.
And as always, boys, yep, the Baggers.